Hey, good morning. I woke up thinking about my own daughter, Laura, who's going to be 22 next week. Happy birthday if you see this, darling. And some of her friends and a lot of kids who belong to friends of mine who are just starting to enter their professional fields of choice. And Laura's is a highly creative field, and anyone who knows me knows that. But I'm thinking about kids who are entering fields that they didn't think were going to be highly creative and who are surprised to learn that print just isn't enough anymore. And so information writing is one of those forms that really scales. It shows up everywhere we go, not just inside of schools, but in our daily reading, when we're learning about our professions, when we're reporting on our own expertise inside our professions. Information writing is really a foundational skill, being able to conduct solid research and investigate something and find out stuff that other people might want to know. But more and more often, the written report isn't really, the modality that we're using or the medium that we're using anymore to communicate that information because, quite honestly, no one wants to consume it. For instance, I could be writing a paper about this very topic and just sending it to everybody through email, but I'm using video instead. So I'm spending this morning thinking a little bit about podcasts, explainer videos, public service announcements, webcasts, memes, all of these different forms that we can use to communicate information and share our expertise with people who want to gain it. And they're very different from print. In some of the schools that I've been working in this year, we're working very hard to document learning as it's happening, and we're doing it learning target by learning target. And we are keeping some quantitative information about this, but a lot of that documentation is happening by holding on to our learning target, knowing what it is in our minds, and asking kids to hold on to it too. And when they feel that they're hitting it, or about to hit it, or approaching it, or struggling with it, we're asking them to document what they're noticing, not only about their work, but about their thoughts and their feelings, the way that they're thinking, and they're capturing it with video, and they're capturing it with photographs, and by making annotations and writing journal entries and being highly reflective. And this is giving us really good, just-in-time information about how our students are progressing towards standards. And it's allowing us to provide feedback immediately and intervene in the moment. It inspires us to think differently about the final product as well. And this isn't just true for information writing, but that's what I'm thinking about this week because it's what we've been talking about all the time. If we're assessing target by target, and if writers are hanging a rough draft together and improving it through revision, what we know is that many times in the real world, that kind of print lives on the design room floor. And if you've worked with me in person, you've heard me say that before. In the real world, the print is a vehicle that gets us to that final product that's actually consumed by real audiences. And that final product might look like a podcast. It might look like a quick video that you're dropping when you go live on Facebook. It might look like an explainer video that you post on YouTube. It teaches someone how to do something else. There are so many different forms that information writing genuinely takes these days that the one thing I wanted to invite you to do on this last day of our discussion about information writing is to think a little bit about final form and how you might shift your instructional practice, your curriculum, the way that you're coaching kids in order to ensure that what they produce is actually something that consumers want to consume. I hope to see you more on Facebook this weekend, everyone. I'll be posting links also on Instagram and on Twitter. And of course, tomorrow you'll have my weekly roundup on my blog, and I'll be sure to share it everywhere as well. If you need to catch up, have a good weekend, everybody.